have joining me now, Kayode, to review some of your thoughts to the big stories. Hi, Kayode.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bukola. Quite a number of stories really reeled out, and they will be forming talking points. But naturally, we'll start from reactions to the outcome of the APC primaries in Ondo State. A lot of people have, given their 2 cents. In this case, their 2 kobos, as it seems. And it's quite interesting to see that a lot of young people are quite interested in this. So let's take a look at the first one from Ajibola Akin X, on X, of course. And, well, this is, and I think this should maybe prick the conscience of some people, perhaps, or maybe not. Some will say this is the usual practice. Says our usual character, never accepting the outcome of election by following due process to seek redress. Ends by saying, is this or It's hard to tell.
Sounds like the latter.
Like a deep thought, right? So this is a very interesting debate, really, because some say that's what politics is all about. I mean, you can disagree, do not be disagreeable, but yes, by all means, if you don't like something, say it out there. It's a democracy, right? But, well, he thinks there should be due process to seek redress. So that's what Ajibola Akin says. Well,
Babajide's thoughts are not so encouraging either. This is what he says at Tolu Francis. If APC can show this much desperation and hold primary with so much irregularities, one can only wonder what they have planned for the main election. Time for Ondo people to wake up. Now, what wake up means is what we don't know, but I think we can also refer wake up to what we started off our conversation with this morning, that you should get involved in politics. You should have your say, particularly because of, trends of dissatisfaction like this that trail governorship primaries and election.
Right. And this one from Sane Preer, essentially re-echoing what we saw earlier, saying this is the usual route. And you can sort of tell the sentiment of people when they see these things play out. So the question is, how much is this hitting home for the average politician out there? I mean, these things are said time and again. Does it really prick their consciences, or they think, well, you don't understand the game, we understand the game, so let us play the game, while you naturally just stay the spectator stand and just maybe cheer us or boo us or what have you. But that's what the Sane Preer has to say about this.
Yeah. From there, we go up to another talking point this morning, and that's about the FX rate, the rate of the naira to the dollar. There were some losses over the weekend, in a departure from what was experienced towards the end of last week. And you've been talking about this issue, particularly about what the CBN governor has said, which is that there'll be ups and downs, but the Apex Bank is working towards stabilizing the foreign exchange rate. Starting with Ola, who says this morning, without aggressive production, especially farm produce for exports, I don't think FX will be stable.
Sammy Kong 19 says, leave dollar. Okay, but there's more to that particular comment on X. Says, just bring the price of fuel down, because even when dollar was cheap, things were still expensive in the market. So this user says the main problem of Nigeria is fuel and diesel price. So you can understand the context of the leave dollar. I don't think you mean it just leaving the dollar, because you have to put in these measures from the monetary policies to the fiscal policies. You have to make sure that both of them go hand in hand, essentially. So, I mean, you shouldn't leave one for the other. Make sure that both are handled at the same time.
Yeah, and there's prospect for, this expectation when you consider reports about Dangote refinery kick-starting production. And there's also, a huge reason to be hopeful, when you consider that Port Harcourt refinery is also talking about production at 500 naira per litre. That's what we gather over the weekend.
Don't get your hopes too high. But yes, demand absolutely for those prices to drop. But hey.
So let's go to this next one from Sammy Kong, who says, okay, you're taking Sammy Kong. Yeah, this one is from Ogbeni D1, who says, at least before you finish your tenure, you will empty the foreign reserves.
Come on. So there needs to be statistics to back this. If you're saying over the past short period that we depleted it by a certain amount, was it up to $2 billion or thereabouts?
$2 billion.
Yes, and now we have $31 billion. So if there's an empirical projection to your statement, would like to see it. I don't want to do the math for you, but you need to back this up with some projection and data.
Projections. But more importantly, we need to be keen on the figures from the foreign exchange reserves. If the CBN has explained that they're not using funds from the reserves to defend the naira, then we must, as Nigerians, demand more accountability about where those funds are going to. Yeah.
And it says that the only solution essentially is for Nigeria to start producing, export, or at least produce whatever we're consuming, and increase taxation on foreign imports. Now that is a conversation we will have. But not today, definitely, but don't worry. We're going to have this conversation with customs and businesses that essentially import and the rest.
Yeah.
So let's move on to...
We're still with the dollar subject matter, and this time it's about the EFCC's continued crackdown on cryptocurrency platforms and others. And the first one is from Zoe Adiola, who says, the simple way out is to allow people use their ATM cards to transact. Once they can buy directly with their ATM cards, there will be no need for P2P, and they will definitely be buying at official rate. If people can, buy from their banks, then it will reduce the dependence on, the parallel market, which many, also ascribe to one of the reasons that we have these challenges of multiple exchange rates.
And I think it's a no-brainer. People have complained that with their savings account or current account, they can't use their cards to transact online, except you have a DOM account or you have any other account that is not Nigerian, and they say, well, this is not fair. Let us open the doors. Let us be able to do these things. There's a lot more conversation around the Naira. It's been said that the Naira is one of the best performing currencies globally. That's coming from the CBN. Naturally, there's been reactions to that as well. So there's quite a number of things being said. And just to let you know that we're following the reports of a certain supermarket in the nation's capital, Abuja, said to belong to a Chinese national that is not allowing customers from Nigeria or Nigerian customers in. That report has trended on social media, so we're following up to see what exactly the case is. A lot of people have gone there saying, indeed, that is the case. But the questions have been, is this a part of a consulate? Is this an extension of Chinese consulate embassy, right? So there's a lot around that, but not to worry. We're digging down into that. And you'll understand there's been a lot of angst about that because it came out some time ago, but this time it was in Lagos, a certain restaurant. That also caused a lot of anger, and we need to ensure that things are done the right way. So don't worry. We're getting to the root of that one. Yeah.
So as we wind down now, let's go to another talking point. This time, it's about immigration makes state of origin certificate compulsory for passport renewal application. We'll take just a few and then we'll wrap up. Right? So this first one is from engineer Shaibu, who says, I understand for initial issue, but renewal, what's the purpose of NIN or having other ID cards?
Again, we're back to that conversation. So let us know what you think. Those are the major talking points this morning. Hashtag CTV Morning Brief. You can also do it on WhatsApp. So that's so much we can take from the trends. For now, that is, during the course of the show, we'll obviously be bringing in your messages and comments as we move along. Bukola.
And so we're starting off this morning. We're looking at the state of the nation, particularly with the anti-graft agency's quagmire over its attempts at arresting and prosecuting the former EFCC governor over allegations of 82 billion naira fraud.
Mr. Daniel Boala is our guest, and he's right here.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.